as was my mother, by the way.
Because you mentioned your grandmother was very gifted.
Yes, yes.
And
but
we never really discussed your mother.
That was a very public thing, though, because she was a medicine woman to the people.
Known,
and that's very different from a person who's very private, as my mother was.
Because she was aloof and removed, so to speak.
And very private.
Oh, okay.
Nothing that she would do or say would be a public thing. How common.
Oh.
So, the whole, it's called, in those days, it was called a medicine family, because it wasn't just usually is with one or the other in the group.
I find it kind of unique that your father had developed abilities and your mother,
yes.
and they ended up together, even though your mother obviously resisted it first.
Yes, exactly, because she became a Roman Catholic, and she was devout. I mean, like really big time Roman Catholic, but she also had this other thing going, and so since the Roman Catholics and Christians were white, that I think is one of the big things that allowed her to hold on to her own traditions, because the white priests and the white nuns and the white people that went to that church and so on, it was all very white, and so again, not worthy of respect. Yeah, so she could practice her own stuff.
You pay lip
also.
service to
And she was adamantly, way adamantly, anti-white too. So that gave her the kind of...
But our mother is non-Indian. How did your mother feel about that?
Oh, your mother. Okay, I was going to say our mother. No, my mother was Indian. When you said "our," you meant
No.
you meant like your mother.
Yeah,
okay.
our mother. Our,
okay.
You know, Scott and I.
She liked her. She liked your mother a lot.
Because I know she came to visit us before.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. She was quite content.
Me.
I know she did. She was very. She was very fun with that.
You know, when we went on a family reunion in '75, we took our dog, and then the dog ended up with his tail tip cut off.
Oh, okay. Well, I can tell you about that too. Toward the end of my mother's life, she was saying, in fact, my sister Marjorie, my oldest sister, she was visiting down there, and my sister Marjorie had show dogs. Yeah, well, she did. She doesn't now, and she really liked her dogs. She had a maid too, by the way, and the maid kept the dogs in perfect condition. My mother says, "Okay, I'm leaving now. She's going back up north. She's not so sure whether she'll ever come back again because she's a little bit on the dramatic side too." And said, "Well, gee, I mean, you may not see me again. You can remember me by this." And she went, "Look, all the dogs had their tails cut off right down to the where the tip of the inside true tail is. They're squared tails."
Just all of a sudden?
Over the night that she left. Well, I'd say that'd be all of a sudden.
I can remember when we saw it on our dog, she denied doing it.
Of course she would.
And Shirley said, no, she did do it.
Okay. Yeah.
But she denied doing it.
Of course.
I think somebody said that she liked doing it so that you'd think of her when you saw it.
Yeah. That's what she told me when she came back from North Carolina. She said that she was very much amused because Marjorie was irate because they were show dogs in that case. But yeah, she liked to do that. She thought that was pretty
And I remember as a child a story about like she had the ability to make robin snares.
Oh, yeah, she did. Yeah,
Did she like to eat robins?
sure. Yeah, like
And
robins.
And so whenever the robins came up from the south,
Mm-hmm.
she had a few of them for lunch. Or
Oh, yeah.
something.
Oh, yeah, she did. Yeah. Very, very skinny copperware. You know, catch them by the lake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
In fact, she's the one who taught me how to snare.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you were proficient at snaring
I was
things?
pretty good at snaring.
Fishing.
Yeah, particularly neighborhood cats. We had chickens back in those days. Again, a lot of people had chickens because, you know,
Food source. Yeah.
food source. Well, some of our chickens came up missing, and then one time there was, I don't know, about 3 dead chickens in the chicken coop, and we figured it was a weasel because most animals will run and grab, take off quick like a fox or something like that.
Yeah.
They're not going to stick around to kill several, just for the fun of it, but a weasel will. So she said, look for a hole in the fence. I did, and I found a hole. You know, someone had dug a little hole in the fence, tiny little thing. So she said, snare 'em. I did, and I didn't catch a neighbor cat. The cat had been getting in there and killing chickens.
And
Because
not
it's,
even eating them, right? It's
no,
just,
yeah,
just
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, fun. Yeah. Yeah. But
So
she taught me how to snare.
So did you get rid of the cat, or did you just fix the
No,
hole?
he was dead.
Oh, I
because
see.
the snare isn't made to, you know, be sweet. It's made
Oh, it's
to
made to.
it's made to kill.
Okay.
So, it's a dead cat.
So that solved that problem.
Solved that problem. Didn't have any dead chickens anymore.
When you were a child, you used to have to chop a lot of wood, if I remember right.
God, that was one of my primary work. Wasn't just chopping. Yeah, chopping. Yes, definitely. Cutting wood. You cut the wood, and then you split it up the log into lengths, something like that. And then when all that's done, then you chop and cut them usually in 4 because let's say they're about that big around. Cut them up in size, and so you chop them and you pile them. And some of the wood you make kindling size, you know, very very small. So the piling of the wood and the chopping of the wood is it's a part of it, and it's a big part of it, but it's not all of it.
Oh, so it wasn't just chopping, you had to
No.
cut logs and
Yeah.
make different sizes of wood.
Right. Yeah.
That's because you had to heat your house with a wooden stove, or
Yeah, we had the regular parlor stove, like almost everybody else.
I understand 'cause the kitchen's so big.
The parlor stove, and then you had the kitchen stove,
It's busy.
and they're both wood stoves. And that was a major part of the wood thing too, because you would, like in the winter, you'd go out to your pile of wood, there'd be piles, and you'd get all the wood clean off the wood, bring it in, and keep that wood, enough of a little wood pile inside the house, a little bitty one, for the day. So daily you are you're bringing in wood, and
was this wood preparation year round? Is this something that went on all the time?
for the kitchen it was year round. For the parlor, no. The parlor stove, they're very big and fancy. They have big skirts and they're fancy cast iron and stuff, and those are taken apart in the summertime.
Oh,
So
they're in the way. In a sense.
yeah. So you take apart your stove, clean it very carefully, and that was the dirtiest job in the world.